niggas.
Hello everyone, welcome to this new video. Today we're gonna see how to make 9x9 techno, and as usual, let's first dive into the key elements.
Just touch down on y'all bitch niggas. Hey, get it.
Alright, as usual, let's dive into the kick first. So, we have multiple layers for this kick. Let's see what we have. So we have a basic 909 kick, like pretty simple. We have some rolling pattern. And we have some mid kicks. Some top kicks. Some impacts to give some space. And a rumble. Alright, so we first start with a basic layer. This is the main kick, and you see it's pretty simple. It's a 909, a short 909, and we saturate it because we want something industrial. So already we give a bit of harmonics, and I just want to keep the lows for this layer, and now we get the mid and highs with the other layers. As usual, I'll make a rolling pattern with the same sample. Just withdraw the transient and I only keep the lows. So you see it's just this sample duplicated into the 16th pattern. Same saturation, just the lows and sidechain. And pretty short sidechain. Next, I have another kick layer, but I only keep the mid part and I distort it. I want the harmonics here, just to get some saturation already. Another layer, same thing. So you see, I only keep the mids. My lows, it's only this kick, this sample, and the rumble. I don't want any lows on the other layers because it will mess up the sub. So with my mid layers, I get the harmonics, I get the distortion, so I put up different samples, kick samples, whatever the kick sample. You get the grit from the amp, from different modes, so either blues or hard or whatever. And I will get the top kicks with the transient and with other samples. So here just a top kick that I enhance and get a bit more mid with the overdrive. Same thing with this transient kick. So this is just an impact. I just keep the highs. I just keep the transient and just a bit for the ambience, and I put an erosion to put forward the talk, the transient. You see, with the side mode. So this is just an impact, and I just keep the ambience. This was the transient. Another impact, just the highs. Another ambience. So this way I just get different layers and different rooms. And finally I have my rumble. And so to do this rumble, I only took big sub kick. So really choose a sample with lots of sub and a good sine wave, you see. I put convolution reverb 100%. I put the amp in heavy mode. So this way I have really like a mass of sub, really distorted and really compressed. And so I have recorded this thing. And so you get this really distorted mass, and then you just keep the sub and sidechain. And you put it in mono. So this way I have lots of layers. And that provides me this thing. So already I have the drive, I have the ambience, I have the punch, but it's still weak. And I want something that's strong, distorted, lots of drive. So I'm first gonna add saturation, but I'm not gonna add like the biggest saturation with the heavy mode, because this will mess up my compression. So of course I get the grit, but I lose the punch and all of this. So the thing is just to keep the analog clip, but push up the drive. And it's better to do this instead of just getting the art curve and this, because here I lose all the dynamic from the kick. So once I get this, I have to still manage the dynamic, and of course I have to EQ a lot to sizzle my kick. So this is what I've done. Of course I took a bit of time and maybe too much EQs, but at the end it worked. So first compression, just to have a bit more punch. Just mild. Then I have first EQ, so I have to withdraw this mud thing. And also I add like a bit of resonancy here in the top end. Well, this does nothing. Then I have this rack, so I have dry signal, and I just added a bit more rumble because I think it was lacking. So I add, of course, the sidechain. I put it the 100% reverb, and I have, as usual, my distortion. So you see the kick goes through 100% reverb after the sidechain. Then I have some distortion. Another distortion. Keep the lows. And distortion again. So already it's better. And now it's still a bit narrow and I need more highs. So I withdraw a bit more the mud here in the boxy frequency range. And I add up a bit more highs with the EQ and amp just to get more grit. And that's it. And I use the limiter. Clipping could be useful also for our techno. You want to squash the transient and sometimes you get better results. And that's it for this kick. So you see I just added this transient a bit after. It was better to enhance it. So I added this sample. So that's it for the kick. Next we have our side bass. So I used a sample for this side bass. Again, I'll show you how to do this kind of side bass in Serum in another video. But sometimes it's easier and quicker to get some samples. So I got this one. Just put the 16th mode and you get the sidechain, so don't mess up the punch. Some EQ. So I add some resonances. So you see it's a bit more clean and it enhances ear. It's better to hear the side bass in this frequency range. If I put up this, I hear it better. So you see, and these resonances, you can just hear them. You see. So just a bit of resonances. And then I wanted to resonate a bit more and of course withdraw the lows because I have already lots of lows coming from the rumble of the kick. And so just in terms of variation, at first I have this narrow side bass with only the low and low mids. And then I make the high end come after. And I just added a little layer up on the side bass. So I just copy paste this channel and I just added a delay on the high end and it makes move a bit more the bass. And it gives a space, and it's important at the beginning when you're doing your intro to have something moving and not just a kick that goes like this. And so this is the result. And so with this, at the intro, I also have this little texture to give some room. So I just took a sweep, you put it like this, you chop up the sample to have this loop, you put it in a space, so around 20% and 10 seconds at least. I put the phaser to make already move the thing, and then I put an auto filter with the LFO so that it moves and keeps evolving around the track. So it's never the same thing, and already I can do my intro there. And I have a space and I have something moving. So that's it for the side bass, and I did a variation with a reverse bass because sometimes, especially currently in the art techno scene, we have lots of variation, kick variation, and sometimes we have different kicks or different bass in the same track. And I know in 9x9 style, both are used. So this is the variation. Same thing, I use a sample, but I have done another video to show you how to do this kind of reverse bass. It's the alignment one. So I took this sample and I did the same thing, the side bass. So very straightforward. Just put up the sidechain. So quite quick sidechain. Then I put up some distortion to just put the highs a bit more, emphasize them, and then I make the thing resonate and EQ just to get a better result. So you just use your ears and see what's effective. So you see, it was a bit lacking here. And really, what makes it work is the sidechain. It's really core enhancer from the kick to the reverse bass, and that's it. Yeah, I just have a quick perk. It's to emphasize the drive from the side bass, the 16 note. So I guess I took the impact, maybe one of the impacts that I use for the kick, and I just put the 16ths. So here just a kind of perk, and it gives this rolling pattern, this drive with the kick. So just withdraw here the mud, the boxiness, sidechain, and lots of delays to give it a space. So it's just a kind of perk or hi-hat, just to get more drive at this point in the track. So next I have my drums. So let's first start. So you see here it's lots of hi-hats from 909 machines or whatever. So there's not lots of processing. It's usually more about choosing the right sample and manage the dynamic and the sidechain to get something that's really grooving with the kick. So here is just a 909 sample, the most basic thing. Just gonna withdraw this effect. So you see, pretty simple sample. Just withdraw the resonancy. It was a bit too much. And here I use the compressor to have more transient and to get something that's shorter here. So it's the equivalent of doing this to a sample, actually. Then I have another sample. So I think it's the same, just copy paste, but this time with the 16 pattern. And you see I have pitched it down. And also in terms of gain, this one is a bit stronger. So I get this drive. This one is stronger. And then just I put out the lows, withdraw a resonancy. So you see harsh resonancy. Then just a space, a bit room with the reverb, and some sidechain. And I use the grid compressor for the sidechain. Next one, I have a shaker. So it's just a sample, but I think it was a longer sample, you see. But since I want something that's quick, I shorten it. I only keep this pattern so that it goes quick. The more it repeats, the quicker it will be in terms of rhythm. If there's too much variation, you will lose a bit of speed. But sometimes it will work if there's lots of groove in the sample. And so I just have sidechain and I withdraw the lows. Then I have this one. So it's just a ride. Again, it's the ride 909 ride from Ableton. And just a sidechain, and I withdraw the harsh resonancy. I could have given it a bit space because it's in mono, but I think I did it because I have some delay on the group, so it's fine. Okay, then I have my clap. And same thing, this is a 909 clap, most basic one. So I just enhance a bit the highs, saturation and compression with the drum bus to shorten it and make it slap, bit of room, and reverb. Simple and effective. And I have a variation of this clap. I use the arpeggiator with this note that I put here and there in the track. So this is the same sample, just maybe a bit more saturation with the 2 overdrive, and then it's exactly the same processing. EQ, compressing, delay, reverb. And my whole group, well, almost all my group, just to get more coherence. I was lacking a bit of mid, so as usual on my group, I put an overdrive to have a stronger mids. Everything should be in your mids. In your track, so if you isolate this frequency range, you should be able to hear every sound from the track. And I just added a more delay and more reverb. Maybe it's too much, but sometimes I think in industrial techno it really gives that warehouse vibe and that big room. And then I just have a bit more sidechain because I've added some delay and reverb, so not to clash with the kick. I put up another sidechain here and there. All right, next up we have vocal. So here it's just choosing the right vocal. You can use any vocal you get from radio, from BBC Radio, for instance. It's a good website to get some vocals, but also you can get on Splice or other sample packs. So here's just a short vocal that's in the vibe of the track.
Get it.
And
Just touch down on y'all bitch niggas.
Something that's a bit with some dynamic, and just enhance the vocal with the amp.
Just touch down on y'all. Just touch down.
So you see, it gives already that industrial vibe, and then I have the same room as usual, delay and reverb. And just put here and there before your drops. And that's it for the vocal. Just before the drop, also I have a break loop that I saturate. So here it's too acoustic, but if you put up the amp and the room, lots of delay and reverb, you already get that industrial vibe. And here just put up some art style kicks with the same processing, because nowadays in this hard techno, hardcore / hard techno vibe, you get these kind of kicks before the drop. And I have another one, and so here's just a call and answer. So
This touchdown.
you see, I have get from the break to the hardcore kick to the vocal to the hardcore kick, and same thing here, and then answer with the vocal. And then I have the leads. So this is the main thing. So already I put a few stabs for the intro. So I use an arpeggiator to play a few notes like this. Actually, I could put up this. Oh well, I have it on my group, so it's okay. I have it here. So yeah, let me show you. So I started from the init preset. So actually no preset. Just use any kind of wave. You can use and try different sound source. The thing here is to get unison, to have different voices and a big sound. But still want to keep the thing in the middle, because I want the thing to work in mono for sound systems. I have another layer of a saw wave. Saw wave is the most basic one, but it's the most effective, especially in hard techno and in EDM. Nowadays, it's like the most used sound source, because it's the one with the more harmonics, so it sounds big and fat really quickly. And so you see, I use these flanges filters. This is usually really good to get some interesting sounds, because you see it's like some harsh resonances with this filter. And so I have put the LFO1 on the cutoff here. So just like an envelope, when it's playing, you get the highs and then it goes down to the lows. And also I did it on the fine here. It's the pitch of the synths. And so you get high pitch to low pitch pretty quickly. And basically that's it. Also what's make work the sound is this heavy mode and then the room. So you see, like here it seems like nothing. It's just a saw wave. Here you get lots of distortion, and then you just get this big room. And that's it. And then just sidechain. And I think I use the same here. Yeah, exactly. It's just that I play different notes. So lower notes. And So yeah, it's just the same. It's just that here I use the arpeggiator, so it's quick notes, and here it's a longer note. So it's a kind of call and answer as usual. You get this long note, and then you get these quick notes to answer. Then I have another answer. It's just quick notes, but an octave above, or below, sorry. And then you have this answer, it's an octave above. And I use the usual trick with the pitch envelope that goes down. So you get call and answer, call and answer. And what's moving and what's different is either the note, it's an octave higher or below, or either the kind of note. Is it a longer note? Is it a shorter note? But basically it's the same synth every time. I just do this kind of variation. You can play with the envelope. Sometimes goes down, sometimes goes up. I've put also the clap here and there just to not feel empty sometimes here. And that's it for this lead. So this is my main lead at this time of the track, and then I transition to the Screech that I will show you now, and then after there is the ARP with this thing. So for this ARP, I think this is a preset from Serum, and this is a preset that you already have when you buy Serum. So it's not from any sample pack. It's just a square wave with the same thing with the filter envelope that's and the low filter that's linked to the envelope. And you get some compression and reverb. So it's pretty basic. Pluck, it's just a small note in a square wave. And what gives the space, again, it's the delay and the reverb. I get a bit more industrial vibe with the amp and a bit more harmonics. A bit more high-end. And yeah, it's pretty simple. And just in terms of pattern, so I've shown you in a previous video how to make this kind of melodies. So here I just have to identify the key of my kick. So as usual, I use the spectrum here. So here I can take the pick and identify which kind of note is it. So here it was F sharp. So then I use the scale, the F sharp scale, usually minor scale, because I want something with melancholy or this kind of vibe. And so I just start. So either in 1 bar or 2 bar, I just put up a few notes in the MIDI pattern. Then I duplicate, because your brain likes something that's repetitive, but it also like when there is a slight variation. And so just at the end of your pattern, you just try and move up an octave, above, below, or just get a different note, and you will get some interesting melodies. Here it's pretty repetitive, so it's an harp, but with melodies you can do the same, just a bit with a bit more variation and different rhythmics pattern. So here I wanted something stellar. So what gives this feeling is few notes, quite close notes, slight variation at the end, and the big space from the reverb here, at least 10 seconds, and you get this space. I have exactly the same here, just an octave below, to reinforce the sound. But I keep the high end with more volume, because this is really what gives this stellar feeling. Here it's too kind of a sound. And I have another layer. It's exactly the same, but I use the saw wave from the lead, just to get a bit more harmonics. Just to boost up a bit the mids. And that's it for this block. And finally, I have my Screech. So here I use a quick sample, like a short sample, but I will show you how to make this kind of Screech from scratch. So you see it was just this effect. So I want to enhance the thing, so lots of saturation, heavy mode of the amp, another amp. So usually don't be afraid of putting lots of saturation and lots of different plugins here and after. I get the same room with the delay and the reverb and sidechain, of course, and a bit of movement with the autopan. So it goes from the left to the right when playing. And so here I have different patterns. At first I introduce this Screech in the track with a few little samples here and there. And then I enter this new phase in the track. So at first it was my lead, and now my lead is the Screech. And underneath I have my harp that keeps coming.
This touchdown.
And so yeah, that's it for the Screech. Also I have some more movement with this auto filter and with the trick with the LFO, so that it keeps evolving and I don't have the same Screech each time it plays. So already within these 5 different samples I have it's the same sample, but I have different sounds because of this movement and because of this variation that comes from the LFO. You see, it's a bit more lively. And so just here, it's an example of a scratch that you can do. So you see, at first it was just this impact, this noise. And yeah, so a Screech is basically lots of noise, lots of distortion, and a movement that comes from an LFO. So the noise is coming from the high end to the low end. So you can hear it here, you see. And so you can create this movement with an LFO. So you see, it was just a Perc. I get the noise from these heavy modes, And from this amp, from this, you see, I really create the noise here, and I get this variation from the noise with an LFO. So you put up the frequency, and you go from the high end to the low end. And here it's to accentuate the resonancy. And then you have the same processing with the delay and the reverb, but it's the same as the ear. So you see, just with a perk, a kind of noise, like nothing, I can get this. That's pretty similar to this. So this is how you can make your Screech. Of course, there's other ways to do it, but here it's the way I did it. And then it's just nothing really interesting, just a few sweeps. I've showed you in other videos how to do this kind of sweeps, homemade, but here it was quick and easy just to get these sweeps, these samples. So here it's just to make an effect. The sweeps comes, and then I have this break pattern. So it creates the tension. I have just this before the break, and then boom, the drop.
Just touch down on y'all bitch niggas.
And just an impact before, so. And that's it, guys, for this track. So thank you very much for all the people that write comments, like and subscribe the video. It helps the channel to grow. I will continue to make this kind of videos. Let me know what kind of artists you want me to try and make, and see you in the next video.